Your feelings are valid. I agree with this with the enthusiasm I have for a wet St. Bernard slobbering in my lap like I'm a bone-dry houseplant. I know. So many of us are just getting to the place where our feelings are finally okay to acknowledge. And this can feel especially powerful if we've been the ones denying them all this time. So let's start over. What I'm trying to say is that there's a very fine tip difference between acknowledging feelings and writing an accompanying telenovela around them. When I lived in a halfway house, my counselor told me that I wore my feelings on the outside like a big red button, almost daring people to push it so I could react. I was getting ready to check myself into a 3-week inpatient substance abuse treatment program. I was trying to dazzle the counselor with my superior intellect. I'd figured out the loophole. I was going to go there and anoint myself the first addict in history to learn to drink socially. The counselor told me directly to take the cotton out of my ears, stick it in my mouth, and do what they told me to do. This pushed my big red button. My response was, what if I don't agree with what they tell me? He looked at me super calm and said, look at where you are. Your family's gone. You're living in a house with 18 strangers and you've lost everything. Although I was angry and offended, this ended up being some of the best advice I'd ever received in my adult life. I don't even think he was the first person to tell me this, but I was finally broken down enough to hear it. I was raised to think all my feelings are valid. But as I got older, I started questioning if any of them were. When I got into recovery, the self-help world screamed from the mountaintop that acknowledging every single feeling like it held the secret to life, the universe, and everything was the only way forward. I took this to mean every feeling had to be validated by pushing it onto others through the insanity hole under my nose. Sometimes feelings are valid and should definitely be acknowledged. Sometimes feelings are like your mind telling you that Aunt Cindy serving a hot dog to your cousin before you at the last family picnic means you're incompetent and everyone hates you. The telenovela keeps you in what ifs, endlessly obsessing, worrying, being fearful, and ultimately confusing wisdom with knowledge. It leaves you more confused than when you started. A real feeling keeps you grounded in the present moment. It relates to what's actually happening and brings clarity, and you feel it in your body. If your feelings create more questions than answers, if they coil you up like a spring, feel more negative than positive or even neutral, or leave you nervous for no reason, this is the classic soap opera script run through. The feelings that get the call back leave you more open, physically and mentally. They point to potential answers or solutions, not stories about why nothing will ever work out. I prefer my pants slobber free, and I don't have the chin for Televisa, so I'll continue listening to my gut and my heart to give me the straight goods. There are some free tools on my website. If you prefer talking to a real person, you can book a free conversation there too. Next week, we're taking a trip with Kundalini. See you then.